Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Aba, at the prestigious King's College, the results of the term's exams were finally pinned up on the school notice board. A large crowd of students gathered, shoving and craning their necks to see their scores. The air buzzed with mixed emotions. Some students cheered, while others stood frozen in disbelief. At the front of the notice board stood Chiamaka, one of the brightest students in King's College, known for her diligence and exceptional academic performance. She muttered in frustration as she stared at her results.
Look at that! How did they score higher than me?
Beside her was Adaeze, her best friend and study partner, whose dedication to her studies matched Chiamaka's. Adeeze's shock was evident as tears welled up in her eyes, her voice cracking. I don't understand. After all those sleepless nights, how did we fail? Just how? Meanwhile, at the center of the commotion stood Obinna and Ikene, students infamous for their poor grades and lack of interest in academics. Yet now they grinned triumphantly as if they had just won a national award. Funmi and Ngozi, their close friends, who were equally known for skipping classes and lackluster performances, shrieked with joy. Obinna smirking.
Hard work pays off, doesn't it, ladies?
Chiamaka turned to him, her anger flaring.
Hard work? Did you say hard work?
She said angrily.
You barely even attend class, so how did you even...
Rumors began to swirl across the school as Toby, another top student and a close ally of Chiamaka and Adaeze, whispered to his friends.
This doesn't make sense. How can Obi of all people, why suddenly top the class? Something isn't right.
The term ended with unresolved questions hanging in the air. Over the break, Adaeze and Chiamaka kept in touch, vowing to redeem themselves. When school resumed, they immediately resumed their rigorous study routine. One evening in their dormitory, Chiamaka spoke with determination.
We have to leave no stone unturned this time,
And Adaeze, who was sitting right beside her, replied,
Yes, babe, no stone at all. We mount.
Meanwhile, Obi and his crew, Funmi, Ngozi, and Chuka, another member of their group, roamed the school grounds without care, skipping classes and avoiding school activities. So the term's exams came, and in the classroom, Adaeze and Chiamaka sat in the front row with their pens poised and faces there filled with determination. At the back of the class, Obi turned to Ngozi with a smirk.
Babe, are you ready for another flawless performance?
Yes, so Obi, I am so ready to hit the top grade effortlessly,
she responded, smiling. So the exam began, and a strange, almost unperceivable hum filled the room. Adaeze noticed something odd again as she wrote her answers. Her words began to fade, stylishly replaced by strange words like the first time. She leaned over to Chiamaka, panicking in her voice.
Chichi, look at this. It is happening again. My answers are replaced with words I don't even know.
Chiamaka glanced at her sheet and froze. Panicked, said,
The same thing is happening to me too. What's going on? Who did we offend?
Meanwhile, Obi and his friends continued writing confidently, smiling in the process, their pens gliding across the paper. When the results came out, the pattern repeated. The brilliant students failed, while Obi and his crew topped the charts. So one evening, while sitting by their dormitory window, Adeeze's voice broke the silence.
Chichi, we've done everything humanly possible to continue with our good grades, but it seems like something bigger is working against us. I am tired because I don't know what else to do.
Chiamaka nodded solemnly and said,
Sis, you're right. I am equally tired. What could be the problem? Or maybe it's time to take this to God. When last did we even say our rosary? Let's call on our Mother Mary, who is ever ready to help us, to intercede for us. You know, she never lets her children down.
So, the two girls decided to pray every night after their study sessions, saying the rosary together. Their determination did not go unnoticed, and neither did the mockery from Obi and his friends.
Prayers won't help your grades, girls,
Said Obi mockingly.
Well, good luck with that.
Adaeze and Chiamaka ignored the taunts and continued their prayers with unwavering faith. Then came the chemistry exam. As usual, Obi's group pulled out their pens, but Ngozi's panic was visible as she frantically searched her bag. "Where's my pen? I can't find it." Chuka leaned closer, hissing in frustration.
Please check your bag again. Nobody is anybody's pen keeper.
Then he continued writing. Ngozi, unable to retrieve her pen, sat paralyzed during the exam. As the students wrote, the magic pen in Obi's hand began to behave unsteady. It started to tremble, and ink spilled across his papers. His answers began to vanish, just as Adaeze and Chiamaka had experienced in the past. The same happened to Chuka and also to Ekene, who recently joined the group. Their hands started to turn blue, and they screamed, collapsing on the desk, while Ngozi, whose pen is missing, became unconscious. At the same time, something miraculous was happening with Adaeze and Chiamaka. For the first time in months, their answers flowed effortlessly onto their exam sheets. Yes, their prayers had been answered. The invigilator rushed over, his stern voice cutting through the chaos. "What's going on here?" he asked. No one responded, so he confiscated their scripts and reported the incident to the principal. The entire hall erupted in chaos as Obi and his friends were rushed to the sickbay. The principal, furious, demanded an explanation. After 3 days, they all woke up and were summoned by the principal. During a school assembly, Obi stood before the crowd, his voice trembling as he confessed. "It started during our third-term long holidays. I was sent on an errand to the famous Ariaria market in Aba." Obi's voice shook as he spoke in the assembly hall, where all the students and teachers had gathered to hear the truth. "I was wandering through the stalls when an old woman in tattered clothes stopped me. She had a table filled with strange objects. I was curious, and that's when she offered me the pen. She told me it would make my friends and I pass any exam without studying. But she warned me, if the pen is lost or misused, the truth will expose you, and you will face the full weight of your actions." Obi sighed deeply. "I didn't think much of it then. I thought it was just a shortcut, but I didn't realize the cost."
Cost? What is the cost?
A student asked nervously. Obi lowered his head. The woman said the pen doesn't just swap answers. It feeds on our ambition, our intelligence, and even our relationships. It made us paranoid and selfish. It ruined our friendships and made us lose the joy of working hard for our success. And when Ngozi lost her pen, it turned against us. As Obi was still talking, Adaeze from the crowd shouted,
Yes, I stole Ngozi's pen.
stepping forward.
After our last exam and seeing what Chiamaka and I scored, though heartbroken, we decided to pray and investigate. So one night, I hid near the cafeteria and overheard Obi bragging about the pen to his friends. That it is not just about passing. It's about watching those bookworms fail while they win, which makes him happy. Confirming my suspicions, I heard how Obi revealed something chilling, that the woman at Ariaria Market warned that if the pen is ever stolen or misused, it will punish them all. So Chiamaka and I prayed to God, and he helped us through the process. One fateful evening, after an intense day of classes, I noticed Ngozi placed her magic pen in her locker before heading to the dining hall. She was careless, leaving her locker unlocked in her rush. Unknown to her, I had been watching from a distance and decided it was time to act. So Chiamaka and I knelt by my bed that evening, clutching our rosary, said a short prayer. God, if this pen is the source of our pain and failure, guide us to expose the truth.
So I walked toward Ngozi's locker. A sudden feeling of calm and courage washed over me. The hallway was unusually quiet, the usual chatter of students absent. When I reached Ngozi's locker, I hesitated, unsure of what to do next. Suddenly, a faint glowing light appeared before me. A figure, radiant and peaceful, stood by my side. It was an angel, with a serene face and an outstretched hand. Do not be afraid, my child, the angel said in a gentle voice. Your faith and diligence have been seen. Take the pen, but do so with a pure heart. This act will not harm you, but will bring justice to those who suffer.
Encouraged by the angel's presence, I opened Ngozi's locker and retrieved the magic pen. As I held it, the pen felt heavier than it should, as though it carried the weight of its misdeeds.
The students were stunned into silence as Obi and his friends who were standing beside him fell to their knees saying,
We are sorry. We didn't know what came over us. We've learned the hard way that shortcuts are never worth the price.
Let this be a lesson, said the principal. Success comes from honesty, hard work, and faith. Shortcuts only lead to ruin.
Obi and his friends were suspended for a full section, ensuring that other schools do not accept them for a fresh admission. They came back humbled and ready to earn their success through hard work. Meanwhile, Adaisi and Chiamaka excelled in their exams, their faith and perseverance vindicated. The tale of the magic pen became a legend at King's College, reminding generations that true success is built on hard work, honesty, and faith.